We're live. We are live.
We are live. This is
Stupid
my
ass
brother,
Huh.
Brandon. We just got done watching the It movie. Now let's start it off with kind of what made me buy the ticket. Is here locally, the theater, they went and put balloons out across town, which was really cool. And when you got there, they had someone dressed as It. So there was this really cool experience being there. It was just a cool vibe in the air. It's not even October yet, and it's comfortably feeling like Halloween. And I think when you go see a scary movie as legend as It, that's the vibe you want to have when you go to a theater. Now, me personally, before going into the movie, I'd watched some reviews, seen a couple of clips. I'm not really one to watch clips, but they kind of deterred me, and I remember going and telling Brandon, I was like, I don't know if we're going to see this movie or not. But the hype and the town getting behind this movie is one of the main reasons that made me go and do this. So, we'll wait till the spoilers at the end. So, let's just start off with overall, I thought it was amazing.
Me too. Thought it was great.
Now, I went into it kind of as a hater. I wasn't drinking the haterade, but it's one of those where you're watching it going, I'm going to wait for this to mess up. I'm waiting for this to be horrible so I can just, and there was nothing. There was nothing bad about this movie.
No, there wasn't. Definitely wasn't.
The acting on every level was great. Even on the ride home, Brandon and I were talking, what was wrong with this film? And a hush falls over the crowd. And we saw it about 30 minutes ago, so we've had time to really, really think about it. So now, we kind of briefly touched on it. Now we're going to go into some spoilers. So if you want to pause right now, go see it. Go experience it. It's worth it.
Go see it.
Not only is it worth to go see, but it's worth it to buy. It will be a day one buy for me when it comes out. I just hope there's some cool packaging with it. Hope there's some deleted scenes. Now, you won't get any, we'll talk about some of the spoilers. Now, you won't get any of the adult concept of this film in this. This is strictly like a chapter 1. They're going chapter 2 with it. I can even see a prequel to Pennywise going on in the future. But now, I'm not saying that they talk about that. But you are in a room with a bunch of different clowns, even with the original Pennywise clown in there as far as like a little doll. And then where he, I guess, lived, there was a big Pennywise, what would you call that?
It was a carnival box.
A carnival box. So it had to stem from somewhere.
Yes.
And maybe not necessarily the mutant, but maybe Pennywise himself.
They did have the fat kid found clips of a fair.
There you go.
Yes. So the origins of Pennywise was found in this. What I think we get from the movie is that the creature found it, used it as fear, and it feeds off fear.
Right.
So.
And I wouldn't be amazed, or wouldn't be shocked, I should say, in the future, if these films do well, you may get that. And that's just us thinking. Now let's go into it. It was funny. It was scary. You jumped. When you watch it, you don't get the presence of an A-list movie, but it doesn't. You get the presence of A-list acting.
Oh yeah.
And him and I talked about the clown. As far as the clown goes, yes, there's a bunch of jump scares, and that is kind of a cheap way to get in there and be like, oh, well, yeah, the clown is good because of whatever. But there was a scene in the house midway in the movie where he's having to speak. He's acting as the clown, and that won me over. I was like, okay, if this film became where the clown had to carry it in an acting way, he could do it.
Yes. I believe this clown done very, very well. I believe he did make it. I mean, I was always a fear that the movie was going to be good and the clown's going to be but the clown makes it so good how they done him. I think we both discussed it. He's not no Tim Curry, but we believe this is a different flavor, especially with the age.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes.
And I agree. We talked about that. Is we were like, man, this film's gonna fall flat on his face if this guy has to carry the film. But this guy, in the roles where he has to be a clown, where he has to take that next step, it was awesome. There's so much that we could talk about. There was really not much change. What you're getting in this movie is what you wish you got in the old one. Now, in the old one, you had great acting, and you had Tim Curry, which is the centerpiece. In this film, it seemed everything was a centerpiece.
Because the kid's done such great acting.
Everything.
Another thing I want to actually take a note was how not only was the clown creepy, the environment was creepy in the movie. Because they would have, like, the creepy father and all this other stuff.
The atmosphere of the town. The history of the town, really cool. Also, whoever did this, which we talked about, it was Warner Brothers and New Line. Both had something to do with this film. A lot of callbacks to Nightmare on Elm Street. Posters. Even there's a scene where Pennywise does his hand like a Freddy Krueger. And I can only hope that this brings up some nostalgia and gets us another reboot. It's like I told Brandon, I go, why can't the Nightmare series or Friday the 13th have acting like this? Where we're really getting into characters where kills matter. In this movie, how many people died in this movie? 4? 5?
Yeah,
we say 5, but you don't see 3 of them.
Yeah.
You don't...
The kid, I mean, we're in spoilers, we can say it. The kid... 2
3
fathers.
Kids, the girl, George, and the teenager.
Yes.
The father.
2 fathers.
2 fathers.
Yes.
Possibly the boy.
Yes.
But this is not a slasher film.
Yeah.
You need to get that in your mind. So you can't really compare it to a Nightmare on Elm Street or anything like that. And I don't think that's what we're trying to do.
Another thing I want to say, almost every character in this movie you're going to care about. That is straight up it. The kids, they all have time to actually develop. God, one of them has a mouth. One of them has such a mouth that's going to make you laugh all the damn time.
Keep in mind, Seth Green came from It. And you will see that in some of these kids.
Oh, yes.
You will go, that kid right there is going to be like in Superbad 2, the remake 20 years from now. You know, you can just see it. He was hilarious. Tons of dick jokes. If you're watching this movie and you can't handle me saying dick or anything, then you definitely don't need to go see this movie. Now, my brother had a really good idea, and we're talking spoilers, so this is also for people that have seen the movie.
Oh, yeah, we might want to say spoilers to the person.
Yeah.
We're in spoilers.
We're in spoilers. He had this idea where at the end, a certain somebody dies, okay? But you don't see him die. He falls down a tunnel. Nothing said of him. And we're over here talking about the next movie, and that Brandon had this idea. Well, Pennywise, he kind of disappeared. I don't want to tell you what happened, but he's gone. It's the end of the movie, obviously. With that being said, we were like, Brandon was like, how's he going to feed? He's probably going to feed on that body that went down that tunnel.
Yeah. We even thought of other things like, just in case he lived. Yeah, think. How this person falls. He is fucked up. He's probably back broken, legs, limbs broken. If he's still alive, he's probably in the most fear ever. And we even thought some other things, because he is like kind of abusive father, calls him a paper man, and
belittles him in front of his friends.
Yes.
But at the same time, he does it to kind of knock his kid on a fucking pedestal.
Yeah,
too,
but you also,
that kid is such a dick.
Yeah, but you also tell that kid has shit tons of fear. That's
right.
Why everything went in the situation it did in this movie. But we're thinking like, that's why if that kid's still alive, he's going to be fucking scared, shitting himself, pissing himself, everything, because he barely can move, because he broke almost every bone in his body. And that's when Pennywise goes in and goes, Daddy gonna tap that ass.
That's right. So that's what we're guessing for the next one is Pennywise lives off that guy. I would not be shocked if you don't see him
At the beginning.
at the beginning of this movie take that on as to kind of lead in. But at the same time, maybe not. But I wanted that out there so it can be like, hey, it came from him first, you know. So go see the movie.
Oh, go. Go.
I don't know if this would be like a 3D thing or not. I can't really say that.
Really, if you think about that scene where he gets big.
There's 2 or 3 scenes.
Yeah, but I'd probably say no. I say it's just good to go.
The only gripe I have at the theater that we saw it at is I didn't think the sound was where it needed to be. So if this film scared me with low quality sound like we had, I can only imagine what it's going to be like at a top theater.
Yeah.
So, you know, I know Angry Joe does his ratings as far as solid numbers. He doesn't want to do the 8.4, 8.5. And even on the way here, I'm like, dude, I'm feeling 8.5. So I'm giving it a 9.
I also have to give it at least a 9. I want to give it more.
Right.
But just somehow in my head's like,
if we're doing it, for me, if I'm doing it like Angry Joe, then that means you got to leave room for improvement. And I really feel that this second one could come in and be better. And you know, there's a couple other films that, in my opinion, I like to a little bit more. The Conjuring movies I thought were so great, and this one is nothing. I'm not knocking it at all. It is up there. It's going to go down for another 20, 30 years as a top horror film. You can see it in it. So that's a review. Now we'll always do these reviews. I kind of like this whole in the light at night. So if we go out and see a spooky movie, or if we rent one and we watch it or whatever, we'll probably do it in this setting. If we go see a comedy movie, we'll figure out some other setting. So hit like, subscribe, share. Do you have a YouTube page?
yes, but I can't share it on here because I cover my face.
So there you go. There you go. So he's a mystery guy.
Yes, I'm a mystery.
Maybe we'll figure out something to where we won't say it, but it alludes to it later on. Got to keep it mystery.
Yes.